Okay guys, we're here now. So I watched the DVD thing from Sayaka. So let's continue. Wait, no, I left. I'm an idiot. Hey, here I go. No, I gotta get out of here. Great, here's not that of it. Makoto, what are you doing here? What? Hey, does this look familiar? Huh? That's my crystal ball, but it's all smashed. What the hell?
What the heck?
I only got it because the guy said it was a blood. He said it was unbreakable. So how did it break?
What?
Wait, was it actually just made of glass and not crystal? Did that guy totally dupe me? He said it belonged to the pillars of history. Genghis Khan, George Washington, Napoleon. Oh my god, dude. He said whoever controlled that crystal ball controlled the world. Is that seriously BS? Oh, let's put that aside for now. So, can you say without a doubt that this belongs to you? Yeah, that's mine for sure. I probably forgot it in the laundry room last night. Someone must have come by and snatched it. We left it in the laundry room. Wait, but the glass? That means anyone could have found it and taken it. Update. Shatter Crystal Ball has been updated in the Truth Bullet section in your handbook. Thanks, Hero. That's all I wanted to know. Sure. By the way, I'm almost afraid to ask, but how much did you pay for that thing? I think I saved up from fortune telling from 2 years. Came out to be like a million? That's pretty cheap, actually. I mean, considering it gives you the power to control the world. Just too stupid. That's just too stupid. Too stupid. I can't even feel bad for him. Class trial. Oh, I have everything. Oh my god, our first class trial.
I'm getting tired of waiting. What say we just get started, It's time for the long-awaited class trial! Now then, allow me to appoint a proper location for the proceedings.
But it can be by Akira or, what's his name? Leon, because he had a long-sleeved,
Please
thing.
go through the red door on the first floor of the school.
The red door on the first... No, where? I have to go? Now, where do I have to go? Oh, I see this door.
Yo!
You're late, Makoto. We've all been waiting for you. I bet you were afraid you would be discovered as the murderer you are.
Listen to me!
Let's not jump to conclusions just yet. Save that for the class trial. There we can all reveal the details of Makoto's crimes. So they really are convinced I did it. But I didn't do it. Me and Sayaka both knew that all too well. But then who is the killer? Oh god, dude. Sorry, I hated myself. Is it really one of us? I have my suspicions for by Yukio. Or Leon.
Is everyone here? Please board the elevator where all your fate. I'll meet you all down there. I'll be...
Well,
Yes, indeed.
Hey, are you scared? No, scared isn't quite right.
Makoto.
I've said it before, but it's up to you to uncover the mystery surrounding this case yourself. If you don't, you'll never come to grips with the truth. I need to uncover the truth. Sayaka is dead. I didn't need someone else to tell me that to do that. In Sayaka's armor, I swear I'll find out who the real killer is. As I raised my voice to try and give myself courage, I turned trembling with anticipation and toward the elevator. With each step forward, I could feel my heart starting to race faster and faster. Everyone else who was already on the elevator when I finally stood. The doors closed and the elevator started to move. The steel box descended with heavy, clunky sounds toward the school basement. I wonder if this is how Death Row feels when his time finally comes.
Oh!
Rather than that, is it more like a defendant or waiting to receive his judgment? Obviously, to our shared anxiety, the elevator lowered us further and further into the bowels of the school. You finally arrived. What do you think? Doesn't it feel just like a real court? It's like a Halloween movie set, right? Not even close. It's totally shit.
Well, now.
Okay. Well, everyone find your assigned seats and sit down. Hurry up and now hurry up. We did what he said and found our seats. Oh, look at that. The seats were arranged in a giant circle. It was set up so that everyone could see everyone, which also meant it'd be easy for anyone to transfer their attention and unease onto anyone else. The air seemed to grow heavy as we sat there, and so the curtain of our first case opened. A deadly judgment. Why is Leon so nervous? Look on his face. It's Leon. Look at him, he's sweating dead balls, dude. And is that blood on his shirt? Yeah, I'm confused. Is that just for detail or no, wait. The blood color in here is colored pink, so it's not red, okay. A deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, and a deadly faith. A deadly class trial! Pre-trial prep. Do you want to see the data? Yes. Police? Yes, sir, indeed. So we got the whole entire time here. Let's finish. Open e-handbook. Truth bullets. How much? 18. Set skills. Preparation. Trial. Alright.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one,
Oh my
then
god.
I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
And the killer really is one of us, right?
Of course!
Okay then. Everyone, close your eyes. Whoever did it, raise your hand.
Don't be a goddamn idiot. Why the hell would they raise their hand?
Before we move on and start the trial, can I ask a question real quick? What's going on with those pictures?
I'd feel awful if they got left out just because they died. Friendship penetrates even death's barrier. Friendship penetrates?
Okay, but what about that other empty seat?
What other activities?
There were only 15 of us to begin with, so why are there 16 seats?
Oh, no reason. It's just that our little courtroom here can technically fit up to 16 people. Okay, that about does it for the preamble. Get ready to get started.
Okay. Come
First
on,
up
Makoto.
is the case summary. Now,
Let the class trial begin!
Makoto's not guilty. Okay, it's about to begin. The debate to decide who we think the killer is. Anything I found, anything I noticed, I have to be ready to speak up about everything, because this isn't just about me. Everyone lives on the line. Your first non-stop debate is about to begin with. Absolutely. Would you like to hear more? Absolutely. As things progress during each class trial, you will engage in a number of non-stop debates. During these discussions, characters will speak one after another without pause. It's up to you to unearth any lies or contradictions buried within their statements. What this means is that you have to use your truth bullets to refute what they say. Any relevant truth bullets you found during your investigation will be loaded into the truth cylinder. Use the left stick to aim, and then fire with the triangle button. Pay close attention to each character's statements, and use your truth bullets to blast through the right ones. Note, if you run out of time, you will automatically fail, so please be careful. If you press the option button during the arguments, you can review the controls. Well then, good luck, and have fun. Oh god, make your argument. Evidence for a struggle.
I assert that the one who was murdered was Miss Sayaka Maizono!
Yeah, we know that part already.
And the murder took place in Makoto's room.
In the bathroom. So it seems most likely that the killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom. She didn't even have a chance to resist.
No, that's wrong!
Oh shit. Alright, great.
Just a second, Chihiro. Try to remember how my room looked. With the way things had been damaged, I think we can definitely assume there was a struggle.
A struggle? Between who and who?
Between Sayaka and the killer, of course.
So you're saying Sayaka wasn't caught by surprise in the bathroom? She must have been attacked in the main room first. Then, she ran to the bathroom to try and hide. The killer followed her in, and that's where they finished the job.
That much should have been obvious after taking one look at the scene. It shouldn't even need explaining.
Sorry.
Okay, so what's next?
Next is the subject of the murder weapon. Wow, this is starting to sound like a real trial.
We need to determine what we used to kill Sayaka. It was a knife. Get your knife up.
So what was used to kill her?
There was some kind of sharp object thrust into her stomach. Without a doubt, that is the murder weapon!
So the killer used some random knife they had on him. How could anyone do something like that? That son of a bitch!
The object was
So what was used to kill her?
It was the knife! I just couldn't
There
hit
was
it.
some kind of sharp object thrust into her stomach. Without a doubt, that is the murder weapon!
So the killer used some random knife.
No, that's wrong!
No. I do think it was a knife, but not just any knife. I'm almost positive it was a kitchen knife.
Huh? A kitchen knife?
After the murder, we discovered that one of the knives from the kitchen was missing.
Which means that knife must be the murder weapon.
Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense. You could sort of see the weapon sticking out of her stomach. And if you look real close, I could totally see that being a kitchen knife.
Okay, so the murder weapon was a kitchen knife, but where does that get us? I mean, we all know Makoto killed her, right?
That's right. Makoto's room was the scene of the crime.
Oh no.
What more proof do you need?
Hold on a second.
Let's draw our conclusions after we presented our arguments. Otherwise, what's the point of the trial?
Well, we can talk all we want. It's not going to change that conclusion.
I don't think that's true at all. I'm sure if we keep at it, something new will reveal itself.
You really believe that?
gotta be a breakthrough somewhere. Just waiting for us to find it. Because I know damn well I'm not the killer. There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? You can concentrate by holding the R1 button. Okay. While you're concentrating, time will slow down, so you can pay closer attention to what everyone's saying. On top of that, it'll steady your aim, making it easier to target potential weak spots. Concentrating like this consumes the focus gauge, and if this gauge empties, you can't concentrate. But the focus gauge will recover over time. So let's let your brain take a rest. No need to rush. Well then, good luck and have some fun.
So I guess there's no question that the kitchen knife was the murder weapon. But where does that get us?
Makoto must have taken it from the kitchen, right?
You did it in secret.
No, that's wrong. Okay, wait. Hold on. I didn't take the knife from the kitchen.
Next, you're gonna say you're not the killer, right? Go ahead and say it all you want.
Well, what if I have a witness? What do you think, Hina?
Huh?
Remember what you were telling me earlier?
Well, I went to go get some tea from the kitchen last night, and all those knives were still there. But when I finished my tea and went back into the kitchen to wash my glass, one of the knives was gone. So you're saying the knife disappeared while you were drinking your tea in the dining hall? Yeah.
Just to be perfectly clear, the knife disappeared while you were in the dining hall, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And at any point while you were there, did you ever see me come into the dining hall?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, he definitely wasn't there.
The knife disappeared while Hina was in the dining hall, but I wasn't there the entire time. In other words, there's no way I could have taken the knife.
Okay, then what about this? What if the idiot swimmer girl and Makoto are in on it together, and lying to protect each other?
Idiot swimmer girl?
Oh my god.
Oh, and more importantly, why would I get involved in something like that?
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear, if there is an accomplice, do they also become blackened?
So you ask, and so I shall answer. Each murder is allowed to have an accomplice, but only the one who does the killing will get to graduate.
So in other words, two people can work together, but one of them has no chance of profiting from it.
Then there's no way anyone would work together, right?
But what if they did work together, and they just didn't know about the rules?
Good grief! Enough already! No, okay? There are no accomplices in this case! Oops! Did I say that out loud?
Anyway, I didn't go to the dining hall, and I didn't take the knife. So I'm not the killer.
Okay, so then, who did take the knife?
Hina seemed the obvious candidate. After all, she just said she was in the dining hall.
No way! I swear it wasn't me!
Sure, but can you or anyone else prove that?
I can.
That's right. Sakura was with me the entire time I was drinking my tea.
I hate to have to ask, but just to be sure, Sakura's...
Me.
Right. But then, couldn't either one of them have grabbed the knife?
Actually, no. Because, well...
Just spit it out already.
I stayed in Hina's room last night.
I got so scared thanks to those creepy videos. I wasn't really thinking, I just asked her to stay over. Which means we have airtight alibis.
You stayed over? Doesn't that violate one of the school regulations?
We're not allowed to sleep anywhere but the dorms. But it doesn't say we have to stay in our assigned room. So, I don't think that's a problem.
It is a problem! A boy and a girl spending the night together?
Oh my god,
it's
Sakura.
unwholesome!
But I'm a girl.
dummy! Oh.
You are? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry!
But if it wasn't either of you, then what other possibility is there?
Damn, Celestia, kinda sounds French. Bonjour, a baby fuck.
Actually, there is one other possibility. Right, Hina?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
One
other person did come to the dining hall while we were there.
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Well, because they're not here anymore.
Someone who's not here? Are you talking
Sayaka.
about?
She's the one who came to the dining hall. And then later, she wound up dead.
Sayaka? Okay, so the person who took the knife from the kitchen was Sayaka.
I got it! Then
But if
Sayaka is the one who took the knife?
That's the only possibility.
But she didn't come in. Can she? No.
And thinking back on
But then why was
she
there
was
struggle?
acting kind of unusual.
No, but why was she struggling then? No, that doesn't make sense.
When she came into the dining hall,
Because there
she
was a
didn't even
showing.
look at us. She just went straight to the kitchen. As she left, she said she just wanted a drink of water. But most likely...
Sorry.
The person who took the knife was the victim herself.
But no, she didn't come in.
I'm sure she just took it for self-defense.
So you're saying the knife she took was then taken from her, and she was killed with it? In that case, you may not have taken the knife, but you still could have killed her.
What?
See? He did do it after all.
No, you're wrong.
So, that's how you would twist the argument and send us all off in the wrong direction? You possess a most terrifying talent.
No! Damn, if I don't do something, they're gonna blame me for the murder. Makoto, do something! Don't they understand? If the convict me, everyone's
Hold
gonna
on.
die.
It's still too early to decide conclusively that Makoto is the killer, wouldn't you say? Because you see, if the room did belong to the killer, then they did something most bewildering. And until we unravel that little mystery, you simply can't declare that he's...
Bewildering? What the hell are you talking about?
Something was missing from the scene of the crime that by all rights should have been there.
Wait,
You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Oh! Your first hangman's gambit is about to begin. Would you like... As things advance further in a class trial, the hangman's gambit will eventually take place. What does that mean? Hangman's gambit? The point is to review is an important phrase related to the incident and the quotient. You got to deduce the phrase from the letters, flying around the letters already known. Complete the phrase by shooting down the flying letters in the right order. Use the left stick to aim the triangle. If you shoot down the wrong letter, you suffer damage to your influence gauge. And if this gauge reaches 0, or if you run out of time, you fail. Well then, go up. Have fun. Hangman's Gambit. Hey. This is hard. I don't get it. Well, then the class trial is officially over. No! Oh my god! It would appear that one with the most votes is Makoto. how Makoto's not the Blacken team, that looks like the real killer gets to graduate. Congratulations to them. To the other hand, everyone else must now be punished.
Is this really the end for all of us?
What do you say? Want to give it another shot? Yes!
I refuse to give up yet!
I think I should have been the team, but that wasn't me. I need to be a disappointment for that. HI. Here.
Now I understand!
Oh my god, I'm an idiot.
That's right! There wasn't a single hair on the floor!
So, the culprit removed some evidence?
Yes. And if I were the culprit, why would I need to get rid of all the hair in my own room? It wouldn't be unusual at all to find my hair at the crime scene if the crime scene is in my room.
The reason all the hair was gone was to remove any trace that Sayaka had ever been there. That makes sense, does it not?
No. If that were the case, they would have had to do something about the body itself, not just her hair.
Yes, very true, very true!
Okay, then why wasn't there any hair on the ground?
The killer got rid of it all, of course, to remove any trace that they had ever been there.
You're stupid or young? Huh? Wait, then that
Precisely. It's simply beyond reason to believe that the room's owner and the killer are one and the same.
Then, Makoto isn't the culprit?
Are you sure we can decide something so important based solely on the absence of some hair?
No. There are other reasons that prove why Makoto couldn't have done it.
I would like to hear these reasons.
Do you remember anything remarkable about the bathroom at the scene? Sayaka was attacked in the main room first, then fled into the bathroom, right?
Yeah, then they ran after her, got into the bathroom, and stabbed her.
And how did the killer get into the bathroom? Did they have any trouble with it?
What do you mean?
It's fairly certain that the killer had some trouble getting into the bathroom. There was clear evidence left behind. Do you remember, Makoto?
Yeah, the killer struggled into the bathroom, and the evidence that proves it. Object that the killer broke took it. This had been placed in... The object the killer broke. There's no doubt about this fact is important one, but we need now the evidence left behind at the scene which proves it. What got broken in my room? Killer struggled in. He broke the door frame.
I got it! Evidence that the killer had trouble getting into the bathroom. You're talking about the doorknob, right?
Huh? The doorknob? What doorknob?
The doorknob for my bathroom. It was completely broken. See how the top part was unscrewed? And the doorknob's about ready to fall off?
Oh yeah, true. But what does it mean?
In trying to bypass the lock, they ended up nearly removing the entire doorknob. This is another most bewildering act for the room's owner. It proves Makoto is beyond suspicion.
So what? You're saying he wouldn't break the door in his own room? But if the only choice you have is to break it, you break it. There's nothing bewildering about it.
You still don't see? Okay then. Let's take another look at how the incident unfolded. Hopefully that will help you understand.
Sayaka said it would be bewildering. Yeah, I almost didn't notice that at first, but is that the key point here? There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? Absolutely. Because I don't know. From here on out, the number of weak spots will start going up. But no matter how many weak spots, there is essentially only one lie or contradiction in that debate. What I'm trying to say is not all weak spots you see are necessarily false. Use a truth bullet on the wrong one, and you not only will you fail to refute what they say, but you also lower your trust with everyone, and your fluid gauge will take damage. Now this is important because if your fluid gauge reaches 0, you fail. You have to rely on your own logic to determine which weak spots are actually lies or contradictions. Well, then good luck. Make your idea.
The incident took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was first attacked in the main room.
Shoot!
The incident took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was first attacked in the main room. She then fled into the bathroom.
Then the killer ran after her. And they got into the bathroom.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door. Because Sayaka had locked it.
Mother trucker, dude!
And finally, the culprit
Bro!
had Sayaka cornered.
And to finish the job, they stabbed her with the kitchen knife.
It was you, wasn't it, Makoto? Admit it! We already know the answer.
The incident took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was first attacked in the main room. She then fled into the bathroom.
Then the killer ran after her. And they got into the bathroom.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door. Because Sayaka had locked it.
No, what's wrong?
The door can't
The
lock.
reason my bathroom didn't open wasn't because it was locked. After all, the girls' rooms are the only ones with walking bathrooms, right?
Yes, now that you mention it, that is true.
Haha,
Then why didn't your bathroom door open?
Because it was stuck.
Huh? What are you talking about?
My bathroom door doesn't fit in the frame quite right. Monokuma over there can testify to that.
Yup, true as true can be.
Monokuma baby, look at him. Look at that cute little baby. Oh my god, what am I speaking anymore? Do I know English at this point? He's so cute! He's a baby bear.
But you know, you're supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, right? But to have such a cruddy door.
Hey,
that's not lucky at all.
So the reason the door didn't open was just because it was stuck. But the killer didn't know that and assumed it was locked. So they tore apart the doorknob to get in.
Okay, but then why would the killer even think the door was locked in the first place? Everyone should have known you can't lock any of the boys' bathrooms.
The killer could easily make that mistake, thanks to one important detail about the scene of the crime.
the killers convinced the bathroom door was locked. So they didn't know that the door was actually couldn't be locked. In other words, an important detail about the scene of the crime that they didn't know was the crime took place in my room. In other words,
I got it! The killer must not have realized that it was my room.
What? Are you saying the culprit didn't even know where he was? That's inconceivable.
And yet, he's absolutely right.
Say what?
Well, to be more specific, what the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka had switched rooms, which is what led to the misunderstanding about the bathroom. If Sayaka had been in her own room, then
there would have been a lock on the door, and they would have had to break through.
So they had no idea how unnecessary their actions were.
Ultimately, we can't know if it came open by force or simply by accident. But the killer must have been considerably confused, with no idea how they actually got the door opened.
Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that wasn't locked is...
Definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it wasn't opening, right?
That is a definite possibility.
So the killer would have to be someone who didn't know they'd switched rooms?
Freaking told you.
Then Makoto couldn't have done it.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Okay, then who did do it?
I'm sorry, but I give up! Quit without saving!
You mother dumbass fucker. Well, you can't quit.
But what happens if we can't decide on who we think did it?
Well, why don't we just vote right now? Majority rules!
No, idiot.
Majority rules? You really think that's a good idea?
Yeah, our necks are on the line here. Someone seriously needs to do something. For serious.
Does no one have any other thoughts or questions? It does not matter how trivial they may seem.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I do have one question.
Oh, you...
You don't gotta sound so disappointed.
It's fine, it's fine. Just ask your question.
Oh yeah. Okay, so, well, I was just wondering, how did the culprit get into Makoto's room in the first place?
Yes. How did the killer get inside?
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere and the culprit picked it up. That's possible, right?
I don't think so. That seems way too convenient.
Then,
No,
maybe
wait, but
someone
she went
picked
to
the
the kitchen.
lock?
No, she went in the kitchen. So she had to be in the key, but what if she forgot about the key? You...
Negative! If you remember, Monokuma made it...
Fine. How about this? The killer got in the easy way. They could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Ms. Maizono just let him in.
No, that can't be it either.
Oh, trying to argue against me? Sounds like someone doesn't know his place. Hello? Why exactly can't that be it?
Because she asked me to do something in particular. That's all. Because... Switching grooves. Makoto's room cleanliness. Dying message. Bathroom door frame. Kitchen knife set. No, wait. It's gotta be...
I got it!
Yeah.
Because Sayaka was already scared, remember? That's why she asked me to switch rooms in the first place.
The same goes for you, Sayaka. No matter who it is, don't open your door for anyone. Even if I'm sure it's you, I absolutely won't open it. Otherwise, what's the point on even listening?
Knowing what she'd been through, I just can't believe she would have opened the door for anyone.
What if her being scared was a lie?
Huh? Well, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Why would she lie about something like that?
I know you don't want to consider it, but look at this and tell me. Can you still deny the possibility?
Taking the whole way to... I want to talk to you about just us two travelers. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong
I found a notepad during my search, and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil. And these are the words that appeared.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows. When you write, it can leave an imprint. Sketch over the next sheet of paper, and you can see the words. When I saw that, I was like, holy crap! I better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now on.
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique. but even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes. Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room.
Huh?
Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched rooms for a single night.
So, Makoto, did you write this?
No, I didn't.
Of course you didn't, because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's signature.
Sayaka wrote it?
But why? Why would she write that?
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone. She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what young man could resist?
Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
But can we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think they are at all involved in what happened.
Huh? What makes you say that?
Would you like to hear what I have to say? Very well then. Pay attention.
Your argument
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying in.
No, it's wrong. The nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
They got switched?
That's right. The nameplates got switched, just like the rooms themselves. As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name. And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's.
So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka was staying in was actually marked as her room.
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room where Sayaka was.
Plus, their rooms are right next to each other, so switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was... Well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
Right. Okay, then who did it?
The only person who could have switched the nameplates, the only person who knew we had switched rooms was Sayaka.
I got it! Me and Sayaka were the only ones who ever knew about us switching rooms. So the only other person besides me who would even know to switch the nameplates was Sayaka.
You can also infer as much from her note.
There's something I want to talk to you about. It's just us two. In 5 minutes. Come see me in my room. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
She specifically tells the reader to check the nameplate. She would only have written that if she knew the nameplates had been switched.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
What?
Inviting someone to your room, but not telling them you'd switched rooms. Why would anyone do that?
To understand that, we first need to understand what happened after she invited the person into the
I haven't
room.
been talking and all of that. I've been concentrating, like, if you don't hear me, it's because I'm not talking, okay? Like, bro, I'm just, like, listening and, like, I need to concentrate because I don't want to get screwed up, like, the first time.
That's where the answer lies.
What happened then was probably whoever she invited over came in and attacked her. We figured it out! We know who did it! Whoever she invited over is the culprit!
But we still don't know who it is, you goddamn idiot!
Sayaka fought with her killer there in the room, yes? Perhaps the answer to our previous question lies in that initial struggle.
Yes, I think you're right.
Then... we just have to figure out what happened during the fight, right?
That reminds me. There was a replica sword at the murder scene. Was that perhaps used during the fight?
Oh yeah. What's the deal with that sword?
Sayaka suggested I should hold on to it. I thought it might come in handy if I had to defend myself. It seems pretty likely that the killer used it to break Sayaka's right wrist.
How the hell could you possibly know that's what broke her wrist?
The reason I knew Sayaka's wrist was broken with the fake sword is because when you look at her wrist, there's no doubt. Yeah, look at that.
I got it! All you have to do is take a good look at her broken wrist, and it should become pretty clear. Right there where her wrist is all swollen, there's something glittery there. Yeah. See?
Is that gold?
It sure is. Specifically, the gold coating from the replica sword. You barely have to touch that stuff, and it'll stick right to you. And there's some on her wrist because...
I got it! Because she got hit with the sword! Right there on her wrist!
I see. And so the truth draws ever closer.
Yeah.
Alright, then it's about time to solve this mystery.
What happened in my room? And what led to Sayaka's death? That's what we need to make clear. There's a bit to learn about non-stop debates. Are you getting used to these non-stop debates? Starting with the next debate, I'll start loading multi-truth bullets into your truth cylinder. But like always, the weak spots, only one of those bullets can actually refute the proper statement. In other words, from here on out, you have to combine the right truth bullets with the right weak spots to refute each statement. If you come up with the wrong combination, you take damage to your influence gauge. You can press the L1 to rotate the cylinder and choose which bullet to fire. Oh, you mother trucker! Oh, you mother trucker, dude! Or you can hold down the L1 button, then use the left stick to select a specific button. By the way, if the logic difficulty is set to kind, fewer bullets will be loaded into the cylinder. For our purpose this time, the logic difficulty will be set to mean, you mother trucker, well then good luck, and have fun. Oh, you mother trucker, dude. Make your argument. This sounds pretty hard. Replica sword, kitchen knife set, replica sword. Oh!
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
Yes, I see. You know why you're saying this. I have no idea. I need to think about it one more time. There must be a contradiction. I'm an idiot.
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
And that's what broke Miss Mizono's wrist.
So she tried to fight back. She grabbed the kitchen knife she had hidden away.
But then the culprit took that from her too.
And they killed her with it.
And that's exactly what happened.
So what they really did attack her, but there's no explanation for a certain side of the sword happening.
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
And that's what broke Miss Mizono's wrist.
So she tried to fight back. She grabbed the kitchen knife she had hidden away.
If you think something like that is wrong. No!
Shit!
Yo, I'm losing heart.
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
No, it's wrong.
Yes, let's go. I was so
Actually,
confused. I'm
no.
like, what?
I don't think the fight started with the sword.
Why not?
Because the sword sheath had been scratched.
That is true.
See?
I'm an
There's a
idiot.
gash in it. Like someone cut into it with something sharp.
That was the knife.
Something sharp. You mean like the kitchen knife? That was the only sharp thing found at the scene.
Stop jumping ahead. Slow down and explain it so I get what the hell's going on.
If the sword was used first, there wouldn't be any explanation for the scratch on the sheath. If you were going to attack with the sword, you'd take it out of the sheath first, right?
That's true. With the sheath on, it'd be heavy and bulky and useless as shit.
Okay, so how did the sheath get damaged?
If they got attacked with the kitchen knife, maybe they grabbed the sword as a defensive impulse. In that situation, there wouldn't be any time to actually unsheath the sword.
So you're saying the sword was initially used to defend against an attack from the knife?
Which means whoever had the kitchen knife was the one who attacked first.
I think I get it! So here's how it all played out. The culprit came in, found the kitchen knife hidden there somewhere. Then they took the knife and attacked Sayaka before she knew what was happening. So she grabbed the sword to defend herself. But then the culprit took that from her too. Then, after they broke her wrist with the sword, they took the knife and finished it.
Sorry, but I don't think Sayaka used the sword to defend herself.
What? How the hell can you not think that?
Because she never held the sword at all. There's a certain part of her body that makes this clear.
Part of her body that she never used the sword. And then she used the sword with part of her body and used it to touch it.
Shoot!
No, I only have 2 HPs. Okay, so her palm.
I got it! You're talking about her palms, right? The palms of her hands were perfectly clean, so I don't think she ever picked up the sword.
How can you know that just by looking at her palm?
Like I said before, the gold coating on that sword comes right off. All you have to do is touch it. In fact, if you look, you'll notice that a lot of the gold has already come off the handle. It's safe to assume that's because whoever used the sword got some of it on their hands. There's really no way she could have picked it up and come away completely clean.
Maybe she washed her hands after she escaped into the bathroom.
Sorry, but I don't think so.
Why do you say that? Is it because you think I'm ugly?
No, that's not it at all.
Sayaka washed the gold coating off her hands because there's a certain regulation that talks about what happened. The water was off.
I got it! According to the Monokuma file, Sayaka's time of death was around 1:30 a.m. In other words, at nighttime. And the water in the bathroom shuts off at nighttime, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. Actually, I haven't taken a shower.
Oh my.
You're no different. You smell like a big fat ugly donkey.
I'm not sure whether to take that as an insult or a compliment.
An insult, obviously.
So anyway, if Sayaka never touched the sword, then that means the killer is the only one who used the sword. But hold on. If that's right, then the one who damaged the sheath with the kitchen knife was...
Sayaka. The killer, Sayaka.
I got it! Sayaka? She had the kitchen knife?
But we already said that the attack started with...
No, but what if...
The person with the knife attacked first,
No, but she got
and the
her
sword was
arm.
used as an impromptu defense.
She got her wrist.
And the one who
broken.
attacked first was...
Sayaka?
Now do you understand? She wasn't a blameless victim in this.
No, far from it. It's almost as if she'd been planning to commit a murder of her own. She took the knife from the kitchen, then invited the culprit to the room she was staying in. And if it's true that she had the kitchen knife and attacked without provocation...
Indeed. These are all the actions of an assailant.
Which brings up another point. Makoto, Sayaka was the one who suggested you two switch rooms, correct? Maybe the reason she wanted to switch rooms was so that she could pin the crime on you. That is a possibility, is it not?
Sayaka wanted to... on me?
That would also explain why she would switch the nameplates. She wanted to get whoever she had targeted to come to Makoto's room where she was staying. And by committing the murder there, instead of her room, that would implicate Makoto. But for that to work, the target had to be lured out while still keeping the room swap a secret. If the target knew she had switched rooms, they would have become suspicious right away.
So all that's why she switched the names?
But doesn't that plan seem a little risky?
I don't know. I'm not sure our soft-hearted Makoto is capable of that kind of cutthroat behavior. I'm sure Sayaka realized the same thing, which is why out of all of us, she asked him to switch rooms.
Plus, she was the ultimate pop sensation. A totally forgettable kid. Or a national superstar. Who are you more likely to believe?
Wait, then you're saying she had this all planned out?
Holy shit!
But in the end, her plan backfired. She launched her attack with the knife, then found herself under attack in turn. That must be when her wrist got broken, and she was forced to drop the knife.
I was right about her wrist got broken.
The tables were suddenly turned on her, and she died at the hands of the one she planned to murder.
Just hold on! That can't be true! Because...
Hey! You guys have totally derailed the argument. You're being super boring right now. Come on, hurry up and decide who. Wouldn't it be awful if I had to punish you all just because you ran out of time?
Oh yeah, we gotta decide who we think did it.
Makoto, right now you just need to concentrate on figuring out the answer to this If we can't uncover who murdered Sayaka, it's over for all of us.
Obviously, I'm committed to finding out who killed her, but what can I do? I mean, as far as clues go, there's nothing left. Wait a minute. What's your idea?
It's easy just to say, hey, decide who did it. But there just aren't any more clues, right?
No, that's wrong!
There is a clue.
There still might be one clue left. Sayaka's dying message.
Dining? Wait, what did you say?
The dying message. She wrote something on the wall behind her, remember? 11037. Written in her own blood. There must be a clue about the killer hidden in there.
Wait a minute! Guys! You see that, right? The death note? Look under it, like, turn your head around, down, and what does it say? L-E-O-N.
Well, before we get too far into that, can we really be sure that Sayaka is the one who wrote
I had
it?
suspicions of Leon. That boy sus. Left index finger, fatal wound, right wrist. Message.
I got it! Her left index finger had blood on it. That could only be because she used that finger to write the message.
I see. She broke her right wrist during the fight, so she'd have to use her left hand to write.
Sure. I think we can all agree. What the heck do those numbers mean? 11037?
Hey, Chihiro. You're a computer nerd or whatever, right? You should know all about numbers and shit.
No, that's not... Yes, I'm a programmer, but I don't see any kind of meaning in these numbers.
Of course. It's because they're not numbers.
Oh, yeah, it looks like...
Huh? What?
No, it's just... look at the numbers, assuming they're not numbers. Don't these first two, 1, 1, look less like two numbers